morning. We are here live at the WICO Winter Competition. Heat number one about to kick off here. Aggressively beeping average in lane one. Lane number three, Mama and Papa Smith. Lane four, Jedi Endurance. So if you're wondering what's going on here, they have a 900 meter air run, 1.5 kilometer row, and then 210 calories on the climber. Obviously everything is shared,
but they have a choice. They can either start with the row first, start with the climber first, or they can start with the run. And once they're done, that will be a score. They will get a time to complete all three of the climber, the row, and the air run. And then with remaining time, it will be max heavy skips and then max calories on those eco bikes. And if you've ever been on an eco bike, you know it is a brutal one. You can see Conan here deciding to go with some disco lights, but we asked him to turn them on for us so we can actually see what's going on in the stream. Give us a shout out. Give us a shout out on YouTube. Let us know who are you supporting here at the WICO Winter Competition. And here's something quite nice about today is that it's a lot warmer here today than it has been throughout the week. We were stressing a little bit that it might be really, really cold. This gym is not the warmest of places, but it is actually fairly nice. It's not too bad as we watch. Nick. All right, as we look here on our screens now, we can see our teams on these runners. As we jump into the climbers here, our man making eye contact here with us, staring deep into our souls. And those climbers are absolutely brutal. If you never tried one, you better make sure that you come out here to WICO Fitness, give it a try. And I can guarantee you now, you're not going to find anything like this at any other CrossFit competition. It's just gone out. So if you've just tuned in, welcome. You are watching the WICO Winter Comp or Winter Showdown. We got WOD number one, LFG. You know what that stands for? 17-minute cap. They can start with any two machines. And Conan said to me yesterday, he said, rather start with the run and the row before jumping onto the climber. And his demo team, which was him and Bianca, they got 11 minutes 38, I think it was. So that is the time to beat. See a lot of CTG here. Of course, Josh coming second there at Renegade Games 2 weeks ago, or last week, was it? Last week. Brilliant stuff there from Josh. Josh has been putting in immense work. And I heard via the grapevine that he said it is quite hard at the moment to run a box as well as put in that work as a semi-professional athlete. But now I think a lot of eyes will be on him, so hopefully we can get some sponsors towards Josh. And then of course we have Ruan who trains out here at WICO. Obviously he's coach from VV5U, but he's always here training at WICO, winning the CrossFit semi-finals and making himself a nice little trip to the CrossFit Games in August. And if you want to support Ruan, we are going to try get his backer buddy, and then you guys can go over there, support the man, even if it's $500. That $500 goes a long way to getting him to the CrossFit Games. You can see that climber there, Caden slowing down, taking a bit of a breather there on the screen now from CTG. That is
6 minutes in, 6 minutes down.
6 minutes in, 6 left.
The first part.
Hard work being done there on the run at the moment as they are looking to switch out there. Had some great cadence there. And we can see now lane number 1, they've jumped into it as well. That's aggressively bleeping average. They're now into the climber. And I would assume Mama and Papa Smurf, that is lane number 2. And then we got Jedi Endurance. Okay, so I got it wrong. The Smurfs are in lane number 3. Do apologize, they're in different lanes from what assignments we have here, lane assignments. Remember, 17-minute time cap. Remaining time, they got those heavy skips to come and rope climbs.
Here we're coming up to 8 minutes.
8 minutes. You can see the face there of Papa Smurf. He's feeling it right now. They still got those rope climbs as well as the remaining time with the heavy skips, if assuming they finish out. And as a runner, we always talk about heel striking. And this man, yeah, seems to have a very odd running style. So on his right foot, he's striking fairly smoothly, but then on the left side, he's heel striking. Very interesting. As we see the partner there rowing at 2:09. Okay, now 2:11. Not bad for the row. You can see they got 200 meters in on a 1.5 row. So a lot of athletes, especially in the CrossFit scene, they usually work with calories per hour when they're rowing. But I do suggest if you want to improve, rather look at the time per 500 meter. And then on that row, you really want to get a nice clean pull. So as CrossFitters, we tend to drop our arms on the rope, so you'll pull and then drop your arms into your lap. You actually don't want to do that. You want to keep your arms in a nice straight line all the time. You want to keep that chain in a straight line, and just make sure that you're catching that fan nicely. As soon as we drop our hands, you actually lose a bit of that momentum on that fan. And we also got to finish our pull. I see a lot of the athletes, they haven't even straightened their legs just yet, and they're already coming back down. I see our man over here, big strides, cadence here on the mountain climber. And I can tell you from previous experience, you actually want to shorten that up a little bit on these mountain climbers, just to really tick over those calories. See a 156 here on the road, not too bad. It's a long rope. They at 6:35. That is Mama and Papa Smith.
Just a reminder for heat 2, please go grab your form from the anchor and make your way to the Aeronet heat 2.
It looks like no one just yet has made their way to the rope climbs. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button here at ItsHappening.Africa.
Okay, no one thinking the demo team time yet. We're on 12 minutes.
At 12 minutes now, so that demo team holds on to that top score. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, the demo team who tested the workouts, so don't worry, there hasn't been another heat. This is still heat number 1 here at the WICO Winter Showdown. Let us know your thoughts. What did you think of the semi-finals? Of course, we had Tiger Valley Uncontained getting themselves that number 1 spot and also making their way over to the CrossFit Games. And what a team. Great representation of SA. And if you know if they got a Back Your Buddy page, let us know. You guys can also support them. Like I said earlier on, $100, $50, whatever it may be, it does add up and it does help us get our athletes to the CrossFit Games. So here's something you might not know about CrossFit Games is athletes will still have to pay their entries. They'll still have to pay to get there, pay for their accommodation. It's the unfortunate reality of CrossFit. As we watch some of our teams now on those rope climbs.
There we are, first 15 in a row. 15 rope climbs. Other athletes and judges, please stand behind the boards, behind the sleeping bags. Coming up to 14 minutes. Remember, next carry the song.
Mama and Papa Smith, they are still on that road. So remember, we said if you start with the mountain climbers, you most likely will struggle. As we catch up here with the rope climbs. They will have 15 rope climbs shared between the two of them.
2.5 minutes to go.
And I remember last year doing some rope climbs around about this time, and you don't realize actually how the cold affects your hands and how you actually struggle to close your hands properly. and I felt like my grip got tired a lot quicker. So be interesting to see how these athletes' grip holds out here, especially after all the pulling on the rope, especially if you left it last.
Two minutes.
2 minutes left for these athletes, and I don't think we're going to see anyone get to those heavy skips. You can see the ropes there on the bottom right. Those are the ropes that they're going to be using to skip with. And I was testing them out yesterday, and woo, it was brutal. Nice little shot there of that J hook. Great technique on that rope climb. You want to be using more of your feet. Save that grip. And there we go. We can see that. Doing a great job there. Easy job by our CTG team. Mama and Papa Smurf on their rope climbs. They're looking nice and comfortable there on the rope. Always nice seeing the community here at WICO. We always have a great turnout, and the numbers starting to pour in now. All the supporters as well as the athletes. If you are in the Douglasdale area, make sure to drop on by.
Seconds.
10 seconds remaining.
10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time.
And that is time here. Heat number 1 done and dusted. Next up, we have heat number 2, so don't go anywhere. We'll be with you guys in a short little while. All right, we're back here, heat number 2.
Judges, are you ready?
Just resetting everything.
Where's the guys? We need judges, please, guys. We need to move quickly through this. Where's the judges?
Lots of questions. We know as CrossFit athletes, we always have 1,000,001 questions.
Has everyone got a judge?
Trying to find the best shortcuts. And if you take offense to that, don't lie to yourself. You know you take shortcuts. All of us do as CrossFit athletes. And I have someone... I've got an athlete speaking to me and I have no idea what's going on because I'm not the guy you want to be talking to. And see one athlete here, he's literally got athlete on his shirt and Reebok on his t-shirt. He looks like he's in the zone, ready to throw down here properly. All right, if you've just tuned in, welcome to the WICO Winter Showdown. We're about to get heat number 2 underway.
Guys, what's the problem there? Please make sure you have your strategy and everything before you come onto the floor, because we're not going to wait this long to start. It's a 2-minute changeover, please. Okay. Okay, let's go. 10 seconds. Next team, please get ready. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
All right, and off they go. We got our little clock there as well for you guys, so you can see the time. If you've just tuned in, welcome. These guys are going to be throwing it down with a buy-in. Basically, the buy-in is a 210 cal climber, then a 1.5 row, and then a 900 meter air run. However, they can choose which 2 machines they want to start on first. So the advice from Conan, the man who set everything up here, he says make sure that you start with the run and the row first. The climber seems to be taxing everyone who starts there first. In lane number 1, we got nifty 50s. Lane number 2, rock and rollers. Lane number 3, aggressively average. Lane 4, 1 rack and 1 sack. But I love these these names sometimes. Let us know in the comments what are some of the craziest names you have ever seen at a CrossFit competition. Got our roving cam up there. You can see the LED lights underneath the runners as well. Conan really pulling out all the stops here to try and make it look attractive. You see there, our man here, you've got to be very careful. So one thing not mentioned earlier on in Heat 1, how these climbers tax the grip as well and those arms. Remember, they got rope climbs, so as soon as they finish this, that will be score number 1. Then they got those 15 rope climbs, and remaining time, they got max reps, heavy skips, and max calories on the Echo. So it's going to be quite a brutal one. You can see there, bottom right corner, rowing a 201 and a 158, 155. If you want to do well in this workout, you want to try to get yourself into the one below 155. They're currently sitting at 622 of the 1.5K. The men should be rowing at about a 145, 150. The ladies can sit around about 155 1:58:59. But that is the time that you're going to be needing if you want to get that 11-minute secret sauce time, so that you have enough time to get those rope climbs done, as well as getting some max skips with the heavy ropes. I haven't seen a team get there just yet. Heat 1, everyone was on their rope climbs, so we'll see what happens here with our teams on the floor currently. You can see some of the teams just chatting strategy here, whether they're going to swap out or not. You can see our men on the runners here. Some great shots here. Bit of a shake out of the arms. He's going to need those for the climber as well as those rope climbs. As I mentioned before, on those climbers, you're actually taxing that grip as well as those arms. So to get into the rope climbs, you're got to make sure that you have the best technique in terms of using your feet, using that J hook or the wraparound, whichever one's more comfortable. I would suggest the J hook just because it's a little bit faster and saves a lot more energy. So going to be interesting to see what they do there. Looking at these times, we've got a 2:10 there. And then on my side here, I can see a 2:13, 2:24. So bit of a struggle here on the row at the moment. Remember, you're going to come from the run onto the row if you've chosen that first to swap out. And that's quite a brutal one. But like Conan said, onto those mountain climbers. You can see our man here, he's got his head to the left-hand side. He's actually changed up his grip as well. Earlier on, he was going overhand, then underhand. He's now back to overhand once again. Can only assume he's just trying to save that grip. And then our man here, lane number 1. If the lane assignments are right, that's nifty 50s. I would assume not, because it doesn't look like he's 50. Right. It's cool to see some of our past judges here as well. They're now competing. Always fun to see we get those judges getting a chance to compete as well. And we see there's about only 7 minutes down here, still lots of time for these athletes. As we catch up here with that mountain climber and the runners. And we're going to see if Conan advice rings true. Those athletes that are only now getting onto the mountain climber, according to Conan, statistically they should be getting a faster time than the people who started on the mountain climber. So let's see what happens there. And that's a great cadence there. On the right hand side of your screen, you can kind of see our man in black there. He's got a shorter stride on the mountain climber, whereas the lady in the pink to his left, long strides. And just from my experience, those shorter shorter, quicker cadence on the mountain climbers are way better to tick over those calories. Remember, 250 calories is a fair amount. And lane number 1, they are looking really, really good right now. But just next to them, of course, is lane number 2, powerhousing through this right now. Great shots here as we see these two teams. I can only assume that they are leading at the moment. But as I say that, we see an increase in cadence on those runners. Sam putting in the work there. She's looking really good on that runner, actually. Go, girl, go. We'll have to see it here at the WICO comp. As we catch up with these two teams here. And look at Sam go. Great little cadence she's got there. Looks like she's striking fairly well. While our man there on the right-hand side, just hanging on for dear life right now. Sam looking really good as she changes out. Here comes Josh, our in-house pilot. And a bit of a longer stride there from Josh. So as a runner, we call that the break stride. So why we call that the break stride? So if you overstride, if you see that your leg straightens as you strike, you're actually hitting a break almost. So you're not getting that momentum while running, and you slow yourself down and use a lot more energy. Whereas if you can keep that knee bent, lean slightly forward, and land just underneath your hips or just slightly in front of your hips, you're not going to have that braking sensation. You're just kind of going to be gliding through your run. And that's what you look for a runner. But with the runners, it's a lot harder because of the slope of these runners. You'll find a lot of these athletes will run with a break sort of form. And you don't want that even on the runner, but you've got to try to get used to leaning a little bit forward and striking underneath your body and not in front of your body. And it looks like we might have a team almost done here. I see a couple of athletes moving down to the floor. And it looks like someone might. There those athletes are, both teams waiting there for those rope climbs. And there we go, lane number 1 on their rope climbs. And you can see those arms are tired. Look how she is struggling to pull herself right now. She's just relying on that grip. But lane number 2 looking good. And I like what lane 2 is doing. He's getting a nice high jump, so he's not having to pull as much. And if you can get that nice high jump, maybe even get a 1 pull instead of a 2 pull, you're saving that much more energy. We might just see these two teams get onto those heavy skips. They've got to get through these 15 rope climbs first. And here come the rest of the teams. They are looking really good. We got Josh as well as Sam. Sam there on your screen now. A jump and a fall. And there we go. She gets those feet up nice and high. And we're looking there. That was 3 pulls. That's not too bad at all. But if she can get that down to 2 pulls, she's going to be saving a lot more energy. Remember, we want to be as efficient as possible when it comes to the movements that are required throughout the day. The less movement that we have to do, the better it is for us overall in the competition. So remember that when you enter a competition, the idea that you want to do is be efficient, make sure that you save energy, because they are always going to be long days, especially here at WICO. You got 4 long WODs, and the more energy you save, the better it is for you later on in the day. Sam there now, not getting those knees as high as she was earlier. As we see lane at number 4 now, they're in the mix here as well, onto their rope climbs. This is a really good heat at the moment, with 3 minutes 15 seconds left. Are we going to see a team get to the heavy skips? And just from what I can see here, it looks like lane 1 and lane 2, both of them once again going to be going neck and neck. Those heavy skips are going to be very, very interesting. Nifty 50s here on your screen. Just gets it there. Didn't get his foot lock in there. Got to be very careful with that. You want to make sure that you are secure before reaching up. And you can see he doesn't have a CrossFit shoe. He's actually using New Balance. And because of the stack of that shoe, you can see how his foot's turning out. It's too soft of a shoe for rope climb. You actually want a harder shoe for those rope climbs. Big fight here. Rope on the outside of her body, and that's why she's struggling a little bit. She's got to keep that rope in the middle of her body. I just realized now I was looking at the wrong screen there for a moment. My producer just helping me out there. Rookie error. I got my other producer giving me the death stare. I do apologize about that. I haven't had enough coffee. I'm still busy. I'm actually busy with that coffee right now. Alright, and Sam there on your screens now. She's doing really well. She's come so far. So Sam, she's one of our local judges all over. She's been at all the competitions judging, and it's great to see her. And yeah, we have those heavy skips. And if you haven't used this before, it is tough. And actually what she's doing right now, that's the way you actually want to do it to keep that momentum. If you just try to do one skip, one jump, one skip, one jump, you're going to burn out a little bit. So what she's doing there is perfect. Double jump, and that's what you want. You can see those arms getting really, really tight. So we're so used to, when we skip, that we bring our arms a little bit closer to the body and using those wrists, where here you're basically using your shoulders, using the full shoulder to get the ropes around you. You can see there, our athlete hasn't used this rope before. It is not easy. And there we go. He's starting to get the timing on that. Using the weight to his advantage. Let's see what Josh can do here. Look, guys, using the entire arm just to get that rope around. Time running out here, 10 seconds. And athletes are feeling the burn here. And that is a wrap for heat number 2. And calories on that Echo bike as well. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with you shortly for heat number 3.
stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble. When I move, is it a
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Alright, and off they go. We have heat number 3 underway. Lane number 1, Hakuna Musquada. Lane number 2, MHC Air Squad Jordans. Lane number 3, Young and Restless. Lane number 4, Friends with Cross Benefits. Let's hope that's not the case. MHC always representing here at WICO. Such a great crowd to hang around. And it looks like these teams all know the strat. Every single one. They are doing the runner and the row first. And if you've just tuned in and you're wondering what's going on, these athletes will have a 17-minute time cap. Score number 1 that they can choose either to start on the run and the row, or row and mountain climber, or run and mountain climber. But according to Conan, they do not want to have that mountain climber in the first 2 machines. So they will be getting 210 calories on the climber, 1.5 kilometers on the row, and then a 900-meter air run. Then they'll have 15 rope climbs for score number 2. And then score number 3 is max heavy skips, and score number 4 is max calories on the Echo. And that Echo bike is brutal. Picture a assault bike with a bigger fan if you've never used one. And lane number 4 went out hot early. Getting into a nice rhythm now, but went out hot early, while the rest of them all took it out fairly easy, just pacing themselves. So with these air runners, you might run 900 meters, but it will feel like 1.5. We see our athletes here on the run. Conan, tell us the strat. I did mention that you suggest no one start with a mountain climber. How did you approach this workout?
Well, luckily my girlfriend's super strong at the climber itself, so she was actually the main power behind the climber. But I would say definitely go the run and the row first, and save your energy for quick burst sprints on that climber, because that climber is going to kill you.
And would you suggest a shorter cadence on that climber as well versus the longer one?
You have to actually look in the middle. So I think the step counter would say around about 22 or 25 would be the distance of the step. So obviously I have to show you on the climber itself, if you can zoom in there. But yeah, middle pace and then power with the arms and the legs and short, quick sprints, 15, 20 carries at a time, quick changeovers.
And there you have it, the man who designed the workouts giving us a little bit of advice. So if you haven't competed just yet, you are watching the live stream, you're getting some inside information here. And I don't think I've seen anyone change over here. Or actually, I think lane 1, yeah, they've changed over. But lane 2, 3, and 4 have not changed over on the runners just yet. They are putting it down here. Very interesting. I'm watching the rows here. You can see a couple of the guys, 1,200, 1,300 basically. They're almost done with their row. Rowing a 152 here, that's our current leader per 500. And that's what you want to look for. You want to look for something like that. And already, lane number 4 moving on to that climber. And off they go. Just had to start that climber, otherwise there's no resistance. And maybe that strategy is working well. We can see lane 1, there's lane 4 now on your screens. She went a full 900 on that air runner, straight into the mountain climber. She hasn't stopped just yet. Great effort here. Waiting to see the rest of the teams move on. And there we have it, our man done with his row, but he is feeling a little bit taxed there. Pushing that 152, 155 on the row. And that's kind of what you want if you want a good time here and you want some extra time on those skips as well as the echo. Remember, 4 scoring opportunities. First scoring opportunity to get through the 3 machines. And then scoring opportunity 2 is 15 rope climbs, the time. And then scoring opportunity number 3, max reps on the heavy skips. And then score number 4, max cals on that echo. And now we're seeing all these athletes moving on to those climbers. And you can see that cadence slowing down a little bit here. See that effort there in lane 1, he changes out. Lane 2 changes out. Lane 3 and 4, they've just changed out. In lane number 3, she went full 900 as well on the run. She went a little bit more conservatively on the run. Let's see if that pays dividends. Maybe able to catch up to lane number 4. Lane number 4, the lady there, where she went balls to the walls, making sure that she puts down the hammer on the run. Lane 1 and 2. Big cadence there from MHC, the man in the red shirt. If they can you also right, you can see now the pain face coming up. Athletes are starting to really get that lactate into the system, and we talk about that lactate training, and obviously with CrossFit we're doing a lot of lactate training, trying to flush that lactate and trying to use it to your advantage. And we're going to see now which athletes here have the better lactate threshold.
Yeah, we're coming up to the mountain mark. White team coming close to beating the yellow team score. Let's see if we can see one second for the heat.
So apparently the previous heat, they almost beat the demo team's score. So the demo team, the guys who tested out the workouts earlier in the week, they're still holding the top time. But remember, we got some beauties coming up next, some serious contenders. And we got quite a surprise for you later on. So don't go anywhere. You're going to see a really, really powerful team here. Take nothing away from the guys on the floor right now. They are putting up a phenomenal show here. Coming up to that 10-minute mark here for these athletes. Remember, that time to beat, I think, is 11:38.
10 minutes down, 10 minutes to go.
And you can see all these athletes are really, really hurting right now. They're pain cave. But as I say that, I look over there at lane number 1, and they have picked up the cadence. They are looking really good there. How long can he hang on for? The man in the blue shirt, as I say that, he jumps off. The Air Jordan team, the MHC team, they're right next to him. Lane number 1, I think they're playing this nice and smart. They're doing short stints on that climber. I think these other teams might be going a little bit too long. Look how long that changeover takes. And that is what's going to separate these teams, that changeover. Can you get that changeover quick? And lane number 2 now, banging it out. Lane number 3 and 4, they are trying to hang on. And it looks like lane at number 1, and they are making their way down. Lane 1 and 2.
Hey, we have 2 teams on the ropes.
As we watch lane 3 and 4.
Hey, we're coming up to 12 minutes.
And we're going to catch up now with the rope climbs. We got lane 1 and 2 busy battling it out. And now we're going to look at those techniques. Our lady there, she can get her feet just a little bit higher. She'll be doing a lot less pulling. And we see that there by the MHC. Only problem is there a little bit of mobility. If you had a bit more mobility, you'd be able to put his chest nice and close to that rope. You want to get nice and close to that rope, that you're almost in a squat sitting position. And then all you do is you squat yourself back up, and then you use those arms a little bit less. Because remember, we saw in the previous heat, you're going to be using those arms a lot more when you go onto that floor for those heavy rope skips. Jumping back to lane number 3 here, they have really been struggling. They got off the road, I think 2nd or 3rd, but really struggling on this mountain climber. And one thing to note there is their changeovers have been a bit slower than the other teams, and that might also be costing them a lot of time. As we see one athlete choosing to go with the scaled version, or not one athlete, one team. Scaled version is 60 burpees if you cannot do rope climbs. So the way that works is they will now, in this part, the scoring part, they will automatically be in the scaled version, so you still get RX scores for score 1 and whatever else you do RX, but however, for that rope climb score, they will be below all these teams that are doing the RX version of the workout.
Okay, we're coming up to 14 minutes. 3 minutes to go. Heat 4. Make sure you're ready at the top there waiting. Heat 4.
Lots and lots of familiar faces starting to show up here at the WICO comp. So just outside of the shot, we have the athletes area. You can see everyone catching up here. The usual vibes at CrossFit comps. We all love to see it. As we catch up with those rope climbs, we've got our floating cam on the floor. Get you some close-ups of those pain faces. See that knee with that knee guard. So one thing with rope climbs, if you don't have mobility on a rope climb, you're going to struggle that much more. If you look at a Josh, you look at a Ruan, and you look at the flexibility that those guys have, and fair enough, they are our top athletes in Africa at the moment, but that mobility just helps that much more, especially on these rope climbs. Being able to get your bum to your heels and sit up in an upright position, rope close to the chest, you're going to be able to use your legs a lot more. And we have our scaled team. Remember, they had to do 60 burpees. So they're the first team at the moment that I've seen do the scaled version. But remember, Heat 1, they didn't even get to the heavy skips. So it's going to be interesting. So just because of the other teams not getting to the heavy rope climbs, I think there was 3 reps there. This scaled team, I'm calling them a scaled team even though they did the RX version of the other stuff. Just because of that one movement of the RX, they're now in that scaled scoring division. 1 minute left. And it looks like our team, Young and Restless from lane number 3, they're on those rope climbs. And just because they're in the 3rd position now, if they can get through these rope climbs and get onto the skips, they will score higher than the team in lane number 4, which is friends with cross benefits.
30 seconds. Heat 4, get ready. Heat 4, get your way onto the floor upstairs. Heat 4, you may walk on the floor upstairs. 20 seconds to go. 50.
And you see there athletes struggling with this heavy rope.
5,
And our man banging it out there.
3, 2, 1, and stop. Well done, everyone. Well done. Heat 4, please make your way onto the arena. Be squared. Can you reset everything for me?
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with you in a bit.
Your future, past, and present, I'm a fine line. Yeah, I'm a missing link of this illusion. I am not really here, I'm an intrusion. I don't swim or sink, I just float. I don't need gravity, I just need growth. Oh, when I move, it's in a quick rumble. I will never ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble.
start now. Okay, judges, you got a heat.
Right, and we're back here. Heat number 4. Lane number 1, the A team. Lane number 2, Monya. Lane number 3, Formidable Fusion. Lane number 4, Drama Cleans.
4, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Hopefully everyone's in the right lane assignments. And we got Josh's girlfriend here as well. She's they're choosing to go with a mountain climber, interesting enough. And there she is on screen now. That is Regan, the proud girlfriend of Josh, the owner of CTGs, or owners of CTG. And what a community they have started out there. Great scenes here on the road. Pulling quite high, but at least she's finishing her pull. Love to see it. Great pull. Only thing I'd say is don't drop those arms. You can still disengage the lats and the rhomboids by just moving the arms forward, but relaxing.
Make your way to the anchor, deep 5.
Change over here for the CTG side.
No one's got the golden socks. Ooh, wait.
Some heavy running here. But I must say, the man in lane number 1, the right foot's turned out a little bit, but he's striking nicely at least. As we catch up here with the CTG team, looking comfortable at the moment. The only team to decide to start with those mountain climbers. Let's see what happens there. Remember, Conan did mention to us earlier on that he reckons that the mountain climbers tire you out early on. You'd rather save that for the end and do short, quick stints on those mountain climbers rather than longer ones. So remember, they get to choose 2 machines to start off with. Either the run, the row, or the mountain climber. And a lot of these teams will go with the run and the row first. And that's because that last machine, you can share the load. But if you're not sharing that load, it's going to tire you out. And especially for those rope climbs. Remember, rope climbs after this, that is scoring opportunity number 2. So the first bit is the 210 calorie climber, 1.5 row, 900 air run, and that is scoring opportunity 1, the time. Scoring opportunity 2 is the time for 15 rope climbs, but if you scale, you'll do 60 burpees. That is score number 2. Then score number 3 is max reps with the heavy skips, and then score number 4, max calories. I thought it was on the Echo bike, but it looks like it's actually on the Assault bike. That's the beauty of having the rental guys as the owners. They have all the equipment, so there's just cardio machines everywhere here at WICO. Changeover for the CTG team. You see them there on the far side of the screen. Not too sure if lane 1 has changed out just yet. I don't think so. I don't think lane 2 has changed out either. So taking it fairly easy at the moment. Great shots from our cameraman. And the only team really changing out at the moment is CTG. And it looks like lane number 3 moving on to the climber now, done with the run. So they are your current leaders. Current leaders here. You see them there. Nice cadence there on the climber, but he is burning right now. You can see that lactic acid building up. And that's the problem with lactic acid. If you're not training that lactate threshold, you are going to struggle in this workout. You need to know, or your body needs to know, how to get rid of that lactate. And there's a quick little stop there. And those little things like that, even if it's 2 seconds, 3 seconds, just flush that lactate a little bit, go again. So ideally what you want to look for if you are struggling with that lactate, rest for 3 seconds, work for 15. If you can get that sort of fitness, that will help you out a lot in this sort of workout. And then of course there's different types of lactate. You obviously have your lactate 1, lactate 2, and then your VO2 levels. Lactate 1, say now your heart rate's, your max heart rate is say 180, and your zone 4 is say 150 to 165. You basically half that 150 and that 165 zone 4, and that is lactate 1 the first half, and then lactate 2 is the second half of that. And then VO2 is your max heart rate. So once you go past that lactate 2, then you're in your VO2s. And usually with VO2, you can only hold that for about 10 seconds. It's basically like a flat out sprint. Obviously some people can do it a bit more, but just giving a layman's terms of lactate 1, lactate 2, and then of course your VO2. This sort of workout, you actually want to be working out in that lactate 1. If you start pushing that lactate 2 a little bit, it's going to be a little bit too high, and you might be struggling when you get to those rope climbs. So a lot of these athletes still on the machines. But a great row here at the moment from the CTG side. He was rowing at a 146, but I see now he's sitting at 150. And yeah, you see Regan on there now. She's rowing a 203 at the moment. Great shots there, but Regan always got a smile on her face, or she's cool, calm and collected. And there's the smile once again. She's like, oh, get the camera off me. And we see the rest of the teams there on those climbers, lane 1 and 2. Rep for rep there, look at that. As I say, it's commentator's curse. Lane 1 picks it up. Got T there. Lane number 2 there. Struggling to find a bit of a rhythm there. And I think he was one of the guys who actually went 900 on that runner. So the thing with the runner as well, it's not as much as people love to run on that, it's actually not very natural. So you're doing a lot more of a pulling action. So you're pulling yourself on the treadmill versus a pushing. So when you run, you actually want to push. You want to have a pushing action, not a pulling action. So a lot of these athletes, they're going to tire out their hamstrings because you are propelling the treadmill, not the treadmill propelling you. And that's what most treadmills do, is that it teaches you to get a nice cadence and a push cadence versus a pull cadence. So those runners, if you are doing a lot of running on that for running races or anything like that, I would suggest moving to road running or an actual treadmill. Runners are not the best thing to do unless you are a sprinter, a short distance runner, and that can be more beneficial for you on the runner. And all these athletes are banging it out right now here on that mountain climber. 210 is the magic number before they move down to those rope climbs. Little close-up shot here. And you see these athletes just head down, just banging out. Try to get those 210 calories done. And great row here at the moment. From the CTG team. And Yana is there on the rope climbs. That is lane number 3. Formidable fusion, if we have those lane assignments right. Struggling there a little bit with that lock. And we're back with our teams here. You see them on that mountain climber. They're trying to get themselves to that rope climb. And here we are with our rope climbs. Let's see what he does here. Big pull. The man's got some flexibility, so he can actually get closer. He can get his chest closer to that rope. Oh, rope on the outside. He's going to struggle. He needs to try to get that rope on the middle or in the middle. You can see those arms really getting tired. As soon as you start locking out like that and you're trying to slide down that rope, you know that those arms are tired because that fear factor kicks in, that survival instinct. You don't want to fall from the top rope. So your body goes into like a locked out position. And CTG now have also moved on to the rope climbs. And keep an eye on CTG. We know they are good at those rope climbs. Very good. So let's see, maybe they can do a little sneaky and get ahead of everyone else. Regan there with 2 pulls. That is great to see. But check there, those arms are tired. A little bit of a go for a second from her teammates.
Heat 5, please make your way to the entrance. Heat 5. Reach one touch of face there. Just watch out for the rope. For them, make the 30 next. Face you, she must face you. So watch out for the rope. Just quickly facing you. Watch out the rope.
And we see lane 1 and 2 choosing to go with the 60 burpees. They are now in, just for this scoring opportunity, they are now in the scaled version. So remember, there was another team that also in the previous heat did the scaled version. So they will be getting in this particular scoring opportunity, they'll be in the scaled version. They still get RX points for the scoring opportunity 1, 3, and 4. But just for this version, they will go into the scaled. So that means they will not finish in the top positions for the rope climb / burpees, just because of them going to the scaled version. What we're looking for is a clear touch of the chest to the floor, and then feet leaving the ground. So you don't actually have to lock out. You just need to have your feet leave the ground. That is the standard here. And here we have some heavy skips struggling there. Smashes himself. 1 minute, 1 minute left. Yana now. See what she can do. Oh, she's making it look easy. Look at her go. And if you've never tried these ropes, they are brutal. See how she does that little double jump? You actually want to do that to try and get momentum. And here we go. Perfect example of how you actually want to do it. And CTG is showing us now. But it is very tiring, but he had great momentum, great rhythm.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5.
And that is time. Next up, we're going to have heat number 5. Don't go anywhere. Let us know who you're supporting in the comments. Like and subscribe.
You're passive present, I'm a fine line. Yeah, I'm a missile of this illusion. I am not really here, I'm an intrusion. I don't swim or sink, I just float. I don't need gravity, I just need growth. Oh, when I move, it's in a quick rumble. I will never ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble. When I move, it's in a quick
All right, we are back here. It is heat number 5. Almond Cappuccino, that is pretty much what I'm finishing off right now. Lane 2, Grip Power. Lane 3, Goliath and Giggles. Lane 4, Let's Lift and Chill.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Right, and off they go. And it looks like Almond Cappuccino as well as Lift and Chill choosing to go with that mountain climber first. And in the previous heat, once again, we saw how costly that can actually be in terms of scoring opportunity 1. And you. It's going to move over a bit. No, not you. So we got Jenna in the house, 9th fittest in Africa. And for an athlete who has come a long way in 3 years, how was that weekend? How did it feel for you?
It was a really, really fun weekend. The workouts were so cool, and the main focus was just to go in, have a good time, see what I'm capable of doing, and it turned out pretty good.
And what was that favorite workout for you over the weekend?
The row and the handstand walk, because I love a little bit of upside down time.
And there you have it, 9th fittest in Africa. She'll be helping out here today. So, just saying, WICO's got a couple of really good athletes. Josh every now and then comes and trains here. We got Ruan, we got Jenna, we got Todd as well. And we might have Gil-Marie coming through as well. So WICO, if you're looking to be one of the top CrossFit athletes, you want to get yourselves here. Got a great community. And not just that, we got 2 SA hockey players here. You got one of our coaches who's the SA powerlifting champion. And then, of course, we got a couple of High Rocks athletes, top High Rocks athletes, as well as top OCR athletes. A world champion there as well. So a lot of good athletes here at WICO. If you are looking to up your game as an athlete, this is the place to be. Right, watch up. Big man over here in lane number 1. I actually had a chat with him the other day, and he was telling me that if I remember correctly, I could be wrong, but he only weighed like 72 kgs or something like that. And ever since starting CrossFit, picked up the muscle, got a little bit bigger, and here he is now at the WICO comp, looking for a change out. And look for them to do really, really well on those deadlifts. His partner over there, she trains here at WICO with Ruan. And I watched her deadlift the other day, and my word, that lady can lift. If I'm not mistaken, I do think I saw 110 or 120 kgs on the bar, and she was repping it out like it was nothing. So, looking forward to that deadlift a little bit later on. That is Almond Cappuccino. As we see these 2 teams here on that mountain climber, Very, very interesting. You can see that they are a little bit slower with that cadence because they can't share the load as much as if they left this for last. And so far, Conan's advice has heeded true. Jumping back to the run here, let's see. Let's have a little look at the stride. We'll see all our athletes here. Like I mentioned earlier on, that brake technique, you don't really want a brake technique, but it is harder to not do that brake technique on a runner just because of the slope. If we look at that slope of that runner, it's not as easy to have a push technique on your run. And they are putting big stints on the runners. You can see Rob in the picture there as well. He joins us every so often for some endurance sessions. And he's come a long way with his endurance and his fitness. Says he's been working on that run. Just having to get some people to move from the camera. They're getting some free advertising there. And Rob, the big man, done and dusted with that row. And looking there, a 155 average. That's a pretty decent row. So, Rob, when you watch us later, make sure you join us again for some endurance sessions. Clearly, it's helping. And we see Rob there, very clever. He's used the mountain climber before. He knows. So he's just placing his wrist more on there. He's not really gripping tight on that mountain climber. That mountain climber does tax the grip a lot. As we move over to lane number 1, you can see she is hurting right now. She's in that pain cave. Mountain climber, not easy at all. But Rob there, working nicely. Back to our runners here. You can see there on the left-hand side, on the row as well. Lane number 4, just chipping away, slowly but surely. Going to be interesting to see if we get some teams from this heat down to those skips, even the road climbs. And that's a better cadence there on that mountain climber. Looking good there. Working nicely. Head down. You don't really need to look at that screen. Your judge will most likely tell you when you hit that 210. Put your head down. Don't look at it. Just grind away. And he's doing a lot better there. Is the big man in lane 1. Rob there, the big man in lane number 3. They're having them a big man battle at the moment. See, once again, changing up that grip. That's kind of what you want to do. Just change up the grip every so often on this mountain climber if you don't have a strong grip. I'm not saying that Rob doesn't have a strong grip. He's just being smart about it. You can see the guys there on the rope. Now it's going to come down
10 minutes down. Heat 6, speed bit
to just going into that pain cave and digging it out. You got to dig deep in this one. And it looks like lane number 3. They might be our leaders at the moment. Keep a close eye. Keep a close eye on this. We'll see. And once again, look there, grip change from Rob. And those glasses showing off his wisdom as well as his old age. See how close he has to get to that screen just to make sure he can see those calories. I'm sure I'm going to get one to the shoulder later. He's going to punch me right in the shoulder for that comment. Digging deep there. You can see that face now. His brother is a judge here today, and is Nick. Always appreciate the help. They also helped us out with the Krugersdorp disco lights. And before anyone takes offense to that, I'm from Krugersdorp as well, so just calm down. We just built different that side. Especially when you're on the other side of the koppie. And if you're from Krugersdorp, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And face to face, battling it out on the road here. And Rob put in a big stint there. I think they are nearing to finish. I asked Jenna, I think she's blind as well, she can't see the calories. She's never used it. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Jenna has never used the mountain climber and she trains it all the time. That's quite interesting. So they are on 190 now. They got 20 calories to go. So they will have some time to get those rope climbs in. I don't know if they'll get to the skips, but they're right there.
We have our first team coming up to the rope climbs, and our second team as well.
And Rob there, he knows he's almost done, putting in one last little stint here, and they are done. They're now moving over to the rope climbs.
Use chalk at the stand base as well if you want. Just move up and get chalk if you need. Just make sure that means you're standing behind the platform. Okay? Make sure you're behind the platform. Oh, make sure you're not behind the platform. Okay, past the 15-minute mark, 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes.
All right, we've got 2 minutes left here. We see these athletes smashing out these rope climbs. Are we going to see anyone get to those heavy skips? The big man on that rope climb, great technique. Bit of a long transition here at the moment. And it looks like we got the burpees here. One team choosing for this scoring opportunity to go with the scaled version. So they will compete with the other 5 teams, well, they being the 5th team, on those burpee broad jumps. And I must say, they look like they are most likely to take the scaled scoring opportunity here because they are flying through those burpees. Back to our RX teams here. We got 40 seconds left here, and I'm not too sure we're going to get anyone on those heavy skips. Got to get those 15 rope climbs. "30 seconds remain. Lane 4 and lane 3, they've been battling it out here in heat number 5. That is Goliath and Giggles, as well as Let's Lift and Chill. Chalking up those hands. So I actually found with these ropes, the chalk does not help that much with these ropes in particular. And that is time there. Very, very well done to these athletes. Next up, we got heat number 6, so don't go anywhere. We'll catch you shortly. All right, we're back here, heat number 6 underway. And only one team deciding they are going to go with the climbers. First up, heat number 6, lane 1, MHC Mafia. Lane 2, Cute and Nasty. Lane number 3, Donut Swingers. Lane number 4, M2. And you can see there MHC in lane 1 on that climber. That is a long session to be on that mountain climber. And as we've said in the previous heats, Conan, his advice has come to fruition. We've seen every team start with the climber. They actually really struggle for the rest of the workout. Lane number 1 there on your screens at the moment. Switching out. And they've gone row and mountain climber. If anything, that is a combo I would go with if I were to start with the mountain climber for sure, just because the row is a lot closer. And then on that 900 meter, we've actually seen no teams do it, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out or pans out, because on that 900 meters you can actually really bang it out there. If you each do 50 or 100 meters, you can send at that 900 meter run. But like I said, that mountain climber is a long stint. And I'm just catching a little bit of screen time here of the guys on the row on my side. And they are really sending it right now. Both these ladies going sub 2 minutes on the row, which is really good. Our lady on the left hand side in the grey top, she's banging out a 1:57 at the moment. Really good row. All these guys on the runners taking it very easy, not really pushing the limits here. Interesting to see, are we going to get teams down there to the skip? In the previous heats, no one made it through.
Heat 7, please make your way to the anchor. Heat 7, make your way to the anchor.
Getting some close-ups here on the run. So as we have a bit of a close-up here with the upper bodies, when you're running, you want to be very careful that your hands don't cross the midline. And that midline is basically the center of your body. So where your belly button is, imagine an imaginary line all the way directly splitting your body in half from your belly button. And just to save energy on that run, you want to try keep that upper body from moving too much. Obviously your arms are moving. You don't want that rotation at the trunk. Big efforts here now on that row. See a lot of the teams now moving on to the mountain climbers. Now, this is where we get to see pretty much everyone's dead even right now. Because even the team that went, the MAC side that went with the mountain climber, the row first, they now on that 900 meter run as well. There you see her there. She's working that runner. What a beautiful shot that is. And you can see sucking in a little bit of gas he is. We're going to see now what happens here with these teams. And I'm just excited to see what's going to happen here, if this run strategy is actually going to pay dividends for these athletes. Just because we have not seen it all day. They are the first to try it out, but will it work out in their favor? Remember, they are done and dusted with that 210 calories on the mountain climber. They have 900 meters on the air run left, while these other athletes still have 210 calories to get to. So what I can say though is on the run you're more likely to actually recover nicely for those rope climbs, whereas on the climber you're obviously working a lot harder. You're pushing into a lactate 1, lactate 2. And we look at the run, you can bring that down to almost a zone 2, low zone 3. You won't even be touching that that lactate unless you really push the run, but it doesn't look like they are pushing the run. But those mountain climbers, I must say, all these teams are looking fairly healthy right now. I haven't seen anyone really put on a pain face just yet. They're all looking pretty comfortable. Tempo picking up a little bit here for MHC on the run. Maybe realizing that they are falling behind a little bit. Because remember, they can see everyone's calories right now. They're at the back there, so they've got quite an advantage to see who's in the lead and what they need to be doing. But seeing those hands up in the background there for the male athlete, that doesn't bode well for the MAC side.
10 minutes down. 10 minutes down.
Lane 2, yeah. They are in the pain cave.
6 minutes and 45 seconds to go.
And it looks like Looks like that MHC team might be getting near the end now, because both of them have been picking up that tempo. Woo! Looking at some of these teams, they are still got quite some time to go. And now we're starting to see these pain faces come out. Yeah, you can see athletes are hurting right now. This mountain climber really eating into these athletes. And it looks like lane 1, they're moving on. And the new strat seems to be that row mountain climber combination.
Your chalk buckets are behind your lanes, so don't worry. And please make sure you wait behind the boards for safety by your judge. We got one more team on the timer there.
Alright, we got those athletes on the rope climb. And lane at number 1, your clear leaders at the moment. They got about a 3-rep lead on the rest of the field. So that row mountain climber and the run looks to be the strat right now. They moved really well. But remember, this is a different scoring opportunity. So they, in this heat, they walked away with the heat win for scoring opportunity 1. And donut swingers as well as M2. They look to be catching up to lane 1. Lane 1, MHC Mafia. Lane number 2, Cute and Nasty. Setting up there for the climb. Not using the legs too much, just using a lock, but not really squatting up. That is in lane number 2, Cute and Nasty. But lane 3 and 4. They've been catching up nicely. Will we see one of these teams get to their heavy skips? I think we've only seen 2 heats or 3 heats maybe. Get there, 2 heats. And it looks like lane 1 still leading. Let's see how many reps. And they got a 2-rep lead over the team in lane 4. That is M2. So MHC Mafia and M2. M2 caught up to them.
1 minute 5 seconds.
And it looks like M2, if they can hold on to this, they might be your new leaders. As I say that, they are neck and neck, even 4 reps at the moment. That is MHC Mafia and M2. MHC Mafia, they got a 2-rep lead now. M2 now, 1-rep lead. Three-rep lead at the moment for M2. But MHC trying to work their way back into this one.
20 seconds. Hold on. Let's go. Let's go.
And it looks like
Come, Franco. Let's go, bro. Let's go.
M2 still holding on to a 2-rep lead. Yeah, MHC struggling a little bit.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And I would say unofficially, it looked like M2 might have just snuck that heat win for scoring opportunity number 3 by 1 rep. But man, what a close one that was. Don't go anywhere. Next up, we have heat number 7.
Please don't run away. If you want to stop us, just give us another jab so you can stop us. Otherwise, make your way to the top.
All right, we're back here. Heat number 7 about to kick off. In lane number 1, we got 1501. Lane 2, Muscle Militia. Lane 3, Demolition Team. Lane 4, Dumbbells and Donuts. And some semi-final athletes here.
2, 1.
Jean-Marie, aka Herbie Fully Loaded. She was in the team semi-finals, the team doing exceptionally well. And you can see she's done, if I remember correctly, she's done comrades. So she'll be the stronger runner. You can already see. And she told me she did her first ever high rocks the other day. And she got a 107, I think it was, she said. If you're not familiar with high rocks, for your first time high rocks in the pro division, to get a 1:07 is phenomenal. And also not on a flat ground. She was running up and down, had some elevation to her run, so 107, really good. Just speaks words on how fit she is right now. And then of course we have an ex-OCR athlete, obstacle course racing, in Kerry. That's in lane number 2, and she's got and then Conan spoke to me and I completely lost what I was thinking. Miggs is in her team as well, and Miggs is a great athlete himself, aka Keegan. Last stream, for some reason, I was calling him Keegan the whole entire time. But yeah, his name is actually Miggs. And then we got some of the endurance athletes as well, who come train with us every so often. We got Megan from the MK team. So we see them here on your screen right now. You can see Keegs has got that usual drop your arms. And yes, he is a great athlete, but honestly, if he can get that chain to move a bit smoother, not dropping his hands so much, you'll find his row will actually improve a lot more. You can see Megan next to him, great technique. Pull, and then that chain is nice and straight, keeping that, not letting that chain slack too much, which helps that fan turn a little bit quicker. And she's actually rowing phenomenally well, as well as these other athletes. I'm looking at a 146 per 500 here in lane number 4. That is really nice, great to see. As we see a changeover here from Kerry and Miggs. As well as the MK team. The big man on the screen there with the JB active, pulling a 150 now, but he was sitting at 145, which is a great row time. And as I say that, it's like you can hear me. 148, bringing it down, 147. Great shots, yeah. You can see Kerry really working that row. Stroke rate quite high. Hopefully she can hang on to that. Usually when you are pulling really hard and your stroke rate's really high, you tend to burn out a little bit quicker. Doing more repetitions. Remember, you're basically almost doing a squat. And got to use those legs when you get to the mountain climber just now. And Herbie fully loaded. Jean-Marie absolutely killing the 900 meter run. She's already on the mountain climber. She'll be ticking away at that. Her partner now at 1370, almost done.
Heat 8, please make your way to the anchor and grab your sheet. Heat 8.
Great effort here by those two teams in lane 3 and 4, Demolition Team and Dumbbells and Donuts. Great run, great row. So remember that Jean-Marie got off the runner before everyone else, so she's been spending some time on that mountain climber. So your team right now in the light blue there, Demolition Team, they are your current leaders. There's Kerry on the screen there. We've got Megan on the run, the MK team. Miggs there in the zone. They did test out the workout earlier this week. So they have an idea of what to do here. And when they tested it out, they did get to the skips. So look for Kerry and Miggs to get there. You can see there the MK team now on the climber. That is 1501. Big efforts here from Kerry and Megan.
7 minutes down, 7 minutes down.
Changeover. Here we see Miggs. You see already it's starting. And I would assume that they are still in the lead. That is the demolition team over there in the light blue. It was a great effort on the run. Absolutely smoking the rest of the field on the run. And there they are now on that climber. But I must say, the tempo of Kerry as well as Miggs, they've been looking really strong on that climber. Could they get themselves ahead of the demolition team in the light blue there on the left of your screen? And then the dark horse on the right hand side. Dumbbells and donuts. Phenomenal row by the big man.
All remembers this climber from Thursday.
Great shots from the cameraman.
8 minutes to go.
9 minutes down. Remember, there's 11:30.
11:10 the fastest time now by Joanna and Kerry.
11:10. Fastest time at the moment. 11:10. 10:41. That was from Conan.
MAC Escort Jordan.
Air Squad Jordans, they are your current leaders with 11:41.
The new time is 10:41 by MSC Escort Jordan. They got the fastest time so far. Who's going to take that? Oh, first athlete coming out. Marguerite.
See the tongue out there. Game face on there by Demolition Team.
He's the first person going to do that.
And they are done.
And I got Kerry. Oh, the new fastest time at 10:10. And 10:20. This is the fast heat. Athletes going to stand behind the platform. This for safety reasons, behind the platform. Are all these athletes going to get under 11? Let's see. And short things are. And the next team is 11:10. very fast feet here. Remember that we please note down the boards for safety reasons. Heat 8, get ready. Heat 8. Five minutes left.
Right, so my chair broke. That's wonderful. Yeah, apparently I'm a fatty. Sat down on the chair and the freaking legs broke. But yeah, demolition team currently are our leaders here. Are they going to make those skips? I'm pretty sure they will. Plenty time on the clock here with just under 4:30. And look at that. As I say that, they are the demolition team right now, destroying this workout. And onto those skips. Oh, look at that. We have Kerry as well. And I think with that little trip over, Kerry might have just gotten the lead for her team. A whole 4 minutes left for these skips. It's going to be brutal. Did that hot run by Herbie fully loaded? Did that tax her legs a little bit? They changing over. I feel like she should have put in another 2 because I think they're about 2 reps behind at the moment.
Minutes down. 3 minutes to go.
Gemma said I mustn't steal her chair. I stole her chair. And what an effort it is here by these two teams. Muscle Militia and Demolition Team. Got some shoelaces undone here. And look at that, here come the rest of them. We got dumbbells and donuts. 1501. They're busy wrapping up those rope climbs. Brutal session here for these athletes. You can see there, those arms are tiring out. Athletes are really struggling with that heavy skip, as we see Meg here on her rope climb. Herbie fully loaded, catching her feet. She's really struggling there as she wants to swap out now. And it looks like Kerry as well as Miguel, they are going to take this heat from the looks of it. They are about 5 or 6 reps ahead at the moment on those skips. And I must say, it looks like that rhythm, they found it nicely. That's Kerry and Miguel. Whereas Jean-Marie and her partner at the moment just struggling a little bit to find a nice rhythm.
Seconds.
40 seconds left for these athletes. And man, Miguel was putting in a big effort. Megan wiping out over there.
20 seconds.
It looks like there's nothing left in the tank there for Megan. But man, Miggs is putting in a massive, massive effort.
10 seconds to go. Three, two, one, time.
And at time, what an effort from those two teams. You can see them collapsing there to the floor. There is Kerry and Miggs. But man, they put in a great effort. And that is going to be the time and scores to beat. Don't go anywhere. Next up, we have the final heat. Heat number 8.
Fastest start to beat is 10-10, I think. That's the fastest start. 10-10. The last heat. Okay. I see Meryl in the way here. Well, I think we're going to start.
Oh, yo, I'm always down for biscuits. Let's be serious here.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
Right, and off they go. We got some powerhouses here. Some semi-finalists. Ex-champions, Bev. Won Beauty and the Beast last time. Got MHC. Lane number 1, one more. Lane number 2, 152 Relentless. Lane number 3, 152 Alpha and Beta. Lane number 4, Hustle and Muscle. And I must say, all these athletes on the run are looking really good and comfortable. Meryl always winning at the strongman stuff. She's a phenomenal athlete, ex-OCR athlete. Competed at the Pyramid X Invitational, which is probably one of the toughest competitions around, where you mix endurance and strength. Look out for that to make a comeback. An Invitational possibly at the end of the year, where we'll be inviting athletes from all different disciplines, from triathlon, strongman, running, and of course CrossFit. And then don't forget, next weekend we have the Chalk 6-hour AMRAP. We'll be right here at WICO once again. We are raising money for the Children's Cancer Foundation. So please make sure that you tune in. We will have a QR code on the screen. You can donate. Basically how it's going to work is each athlete as they complete a section of the AMRAP, that section will open up a amount that you can sponsor towards the Chalk Foundation. So choose an athlete, and every time they complete a section in the 6-hour Chalk AMRAP, you can donate to the Children's Cancer Foundation. That is next week here at WICO once again, Sunday the 16th of June. We catch up here again with the action. As I mentioned, all the athletes looking really good on the run. Merrill looking like a powerhouse, rowing a 1:52 at the moment. Great time on the row. And it looks like she's doing intervals actually, so she slows down and then picks up, slows down and then picks up. It's a great way to actually approach this if you are going to be sticking on the row. I'm not sick. Nah. Been told I'm sick. I just have this annoying cough that always happens in winter or when it's cold. Apparently it's a mild thing of asthma, I've been told. Bev, great technique on that row. Looking really good. Pulling just under the chest where you want it. Then those legs straighten out. And make sure he finishes his pull before he drops again. So looking really good. We've got lane 1, one more, lane 2, 152 Relentless, lane number 3, 152 Alpha and Beta, and then of course lane number 4, Hustle and Muscle.
Heat 1 for 1-2.
The 152 team's looking really good right now. Got Dane here from 152 just on the left there on the row. He's currently rowing a 149. It's decent pace there for what they're trying to accomplish. And just like that, we're looking at 152 done and dusted on the run. They're moving into, as well as Muscle and Hustle, onto those mountain climbers. (152) always bringing the heat. They are. And it looks like our lead team here is going to be in lane 4, Hustle and Muscle. Merrill about to wrap up her row. And they will be first off the row. Great effort there. However, did that long stint on that row cost them as everyone now done pretty much, and everyone now is on the mountain climber. 152, one more. And then Alpha, Beta, as well as Hustle and Muscle here.
Come on, babe.
One more and Relentless. They are battling it out here, neck and neck.
Get a nice close up there, babe. Put your game face on, babe. Game face.
Bev and I think it's Ash. They twins. I always get confused between the two.
There we look quick still. 8 minutes down.
Sending it on that mountain climber right now. Looking really strong. Dane there on your screen, working hard, fighting that lactic, burning right now. Him and his wife in a team, Alpha and Beta. And there's Meryl on your screen, always making sure she wins the strongman side of things here at WICO. And Bev and Ash, Bev flying up that rope climb. There's something that you might not know, but this man at one of the competitions had no idea how to do rope climbs. He tried to go legless, really struggled, and now he made that weakness into a strength. The guy is flying there right now on those rope climbs. They're in that scoring opportunity number 2. And that scoring opportunity is 15 rope climbs. Ash struggling to get those feet locked in there. And here comes team one more.
Hey, we have 2 teams on the ropes already.
Muscle and Hustle, they're in their rope climbs now.
Remember, athletes, please stand here high for winning.
We're waiting for Alpha and Beta now in lane number 3.
Check on their own to beat the rope. And also, here we go.
And these teams are absolutely flying with these rope climbs right now. Really great technique all around on the floor. If you've just tuned in, welcome. You're watching an ItsHappening.Africa production. We're here at the WICO Winter Showdown. And my name is Jason Viking Friedman. I'll be with you for the rest of the day.
12 minutes down, 5 minutes to go. minutes left.
5 minutes.
WOD 2, please go grab your form from the Yakka. Heat 1, WOD 2. Aston, what's your head there? That rope likes to flick around.
So I do think, obviously the lanes are swapped now. In lane 1, we have 152 Relentless. But I do think they are your current leaders at the moment. And yes, they are. They are now onto those heavy skips. Looking really, really good. Smooth technique there on those rope skips, heavy rope skips. Bev finding a nice rhythm here. Getting big chunks out. I think this is so far the biggest chunk I've seen on those heavy skips. Waiting to see who's going to come into second.
Just remember, there are 4 scoring opportunities here. Let's go, Danny. All the way. Okay, we got all the teams on the skip ropes now. Oh, one more from Mark Peter. 3 minutes. You can start, Danny. Let's go. Remember the salt bar, cash on the salt bar. Cash the salt bar. There we go. Control. 2 minutes left. 2 minutes.
Two minutes left here for these athletes. And your clear leaders at the moment, 152 Relentless, doing a great job in getting massive amounts of reps here on those heavy skips. But the rest of the field here with them now. 90 seconds.
Let's go. Let's go, Alpha. Let's go, Dan. Errol, why are you showing that back to six? Jesus, let's go, Dan. Last minute. Big push, let's go. Venus, Dan. Venus, Dan. 35 seconds. Who's going to hold on the longest? Let's go. 30 seconds.
And the final few seconds here, these athletes pushing the limits here.
3, 2, 1, and time.
Beautifully done there, and 152 Relentless. Man, what a phenomenal effort there from these two on your screens right now. And don't go anywhere. Next up, we got WOD number 2. That is the end of WOD number 1, brought to you by ItsHappening.Africa.
I'm a fine line, yeah, I'm a missing link of this illusion. I am not really here, I'm an intrusion. I don't swim or sink, I just float. I don't need gravity, I just need growth. Oh, when I move, it's in a quick rumble. I won't ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble, brave.